Hey y'all, my name is Noah Lueker, and I am a recent JCM graduate from the University of Alabama. I just wanted to pop by and give y'all a couple quick writing tips for how I start a script and how it stays focused. Whenever I sit down to start to write a script, I tend to hone in on one central idea where everything from characters to plotting branches off from, and that is theme. Essentially, you first have to ask, what's the point? As my old professor Maya Champion always used to say. For example, take my most recent draft of a feature film that I've been writing. This was my pre-writing. The basic synopsis that I started with follows a young high school teen who, after suffering a family tragedy, runs away to her childhood home. There she reunites with her childhood best friend, only to realize just how different they've become. So right away, what could you guess that this story was actually about? Well, over time, the story developed a few key themes. Acceptance of hardship and growing from pain, as well as the fact that things may change, but people don't. It's important to maintain those relationships of all types, as those are the one true constant in our lives. It's a bit heady, but it's cute. So that's the lesson we're supposed to learn. So how are you going to convey that to the audience without having some character just spout it in a monologue of exposition?
This was the reason I was born.
Yue, please.
There is no love without sacrifice.
Yue, what are you doing? You don't know what will happen.
I believe that my life force will leave my body and return to the moon spirit.
And then what?
My soul will no longer exist in this form.
Please don't do this.
Well, how do you learn lessons in real life? You start out believing one thing until your perception is changed. I start my characters in the exact opposite of how I want them to end up and what lesson they want to learn. And then I have them slowly come to that realization when the characters and conflicts they face start pushing them in that direction. You need obstacles that conflict with your character's core held belief. A super easy way to do this is what K.M. Weiland states in her book, Creating Character Arcs. It's the lie your character believes. In order for your character to evolve in a positive way, he has to start out with something lacking in his life, some reason that makes the change necessary. He is harboring some deeply held misconception about either himself, the world, or probably both. In my script, when the protagonist Austin arrives back home, she initially believes the lie that her hometown has never and will never change. But she soon realizes that her best friend Parker is not the same person anymore. And so her sense of security is then shaken. And together they struggle to learn what truly matters in their relationship. This allows your character to be active in the story, trying to prove themselves right by inevitably pushing the story along and having those consequences spit back in their face, telling them no. Every movie is about something. That's why they stick with us for days, weeks, months, years after the fact. Whatever movies already resonate with you are probably the ones with themes that you will be able to write the most personally. That doesn't mean copy something word for word. It means tell your own experience of the same shared theme. So let's try to make sense of all that rambling. 1, start your script off with a lesson to learn. Make that your resolution to everything. And 2, start your characters in the exact opposite position. Characters that believe something, especially if they're flawed, can help an audience relate to the story you're trying to tell. Step 3, from there, every side character, conflict, plot point, etc., it's either going to reinforce or challenge what your character already believes. And through that, we inch closer and closer to the revelation of what the story was about all along. Godspeed, writers.